Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second advice session. These are always my favorite because I honestly love giving advice on stuff that I probably shouldn't be giving advice on, but I do feel like a lot of my friends come to me when it comes to any sort of relationship or academic advice, and so I feel like I'm able to talk on this subject for the most part. The first thing I want to get into is a little bit of academic advice. And I mean, since I'm graduating and I'm coming to the end of my high school experience, I feel like I can talk about this to all of the juniors and sophomores and freshmen listening. Okay, I have a couple of points that I'm going to mention here. So the first point I'm making is basically you need to get involved in clubs. When applying to colleges, this is very important. There's a whole activity list on the Common App, and you have to basically list 10 activities you were in throughout high school. So whether that's different sports or student assembly, any sort of club, it's very important to have that. Along with that, I think more is less when it comes to the club quantity because it looks for leadership positions, and you're more likely to get into a college if you have high up leadership positions in 3 clubs than are participating in 10 clubs but don't show any leadership position at all. An example of this would be I was a C4 ambassador all throughout high school, and I ended up joining the C4 leadership team, so then I could put on my college application that I was an ambassador, and then my junior and senior year I got promoted up to a leadership position. This also helps when you're if you're wanting to go into YLBC, they always ask for leadership positions. Okay, the second piece of advice I have to give is don't cut yourself too thin. For example, my junior year, I was already taking 4 AP classes, so I decided to not take AP English and then take AP English my senior year. Since AP English is so hard junior year and it's also GPA, it kind of ruins your GPA with how hard and rigorous the teacher is, I decided to go ahead and take AP English my senior year, get a good AP style learning so I'll be prepared for college, but don't stress myself out with already taking 4 other classes. You want to push yourself in high school, but you also want to make sure you have enough time and energy to get good grades in those classes. And if you end up taking 7 AP classes, it makes it almost impossible to complete them well. Okay, a big thing I have to stress, and especially at East and North since we don't have weighted GPAs and weighted class ranks, is that class rank really does not matter. No colleges look at it, especially if you do not have a weighted GPA, because it is not based on the hard classes you take, the AP classes you take. It's based off your overall GPA throughout high school. The third piece of advice I have, or fourth, I forget, is to start on college stuff early. If you are a junior, start at the end of junior year / summer on all of your college essays. Trust me, you will thank me so much because going into senior year, you're working on your senior project and other hard classes, and it makes the most sense to do all of the research and start writing the essays during summertime. Depending on how many colleges you are applying to, assign 1 essay every 2 weeks, and this will give you time to really focus on the essay you are writing. Filling out the Common App during summer is also very convenient, and you can obviously go out and fix it throughout your senior year, but a lot of it is just basic knowledge that you already know that you can just enter in really quick. The best way I can help you figure out how to apply, whether it's straight on the college website or through Common App, is if you are applying to a few colleges in state, I would suggest apply directly through their website application system. But if you are applying to more than 5 colleges and they are also out of state, I would recommend the Common App. It's the easiest way to go about it because you can enter in the same information and click the colleges and it sends all the information to every single college. I would also suggest start taking your ACT and SAT early on. Don't count out the ACT also because obviously you take the PSAT your sophomore and junior year, so it better prepares you for the SAT, but I ended up doing a lot better on the ACT. So don't necessarily not take the ACT just because it isn't required like the SAT is. One of the biggest points I can make is to form good relationships with your teachers. This helps out tremendously when it comes later on into your high school. They will give you passes if you forget to turn something in because they know you're a good student. And not only that, they will help you with the letter of recommendations, which you'll need for college apps and scholarships. Even if you don't have good relationships with any of your senior year teachers, you can reach back out to freshman year teachers who you've had a good relationship, and they'll still be able to write it and it'll sound just as good. Same with, and this goes with coaches, bosses, any of that. Make sure to form those good relationships because they do benefit you a lot going through high school. Okay, the next topic I want to talk about is putting your time into the right things. And there's two aspects to this. There's time management and overuse of time when it's not needed. I see a lot of students go through this, and it makes me so frustrated for them because I just want to talk to them and be like, girl, you do not need to do this. Evenly spacing your time in order to get everything done right in the shortest amount of time is the best way to do it. For example, if the teacher is an easy grader and you know if you spend 5 hours on this project, you'll get a 100, but if you spend an hour to 30 minutes, you'll get a 99. Spend the hour to 30 minutes to get the 99 and don't worry about that extra point. For example, some of my classes like AP Calculus, I spend a lot of time studying for those tests and working hard because I know that he is a hard grader. But if I know, like World Civ my freshman year, that I could work on a project for 15 minutes, do the laziest presentation and still get a 100, I'm not going to spend an extra hour making sure the presentation looks great. I think the biggest thing is not putting too much time and effort on things that don't matter. And I know that's hard for perfectionists, but you have to learn how to let go. The next thing I want to talk about is how much my planner helped me get through my high school career. I have 2 friends that don't use planners and kind of use their memory to know when an assignment is due. And to me, that is the dumbest way to go about it because there are so many things that you're going to forget, whether it's bringing in a permissions form or remembering that the essay is due at 11:59 and not the next day. Write every assignment that you're given down and write them down on the day it's due, and it's so satisfying to check them off once they're completed. I feel like it gives me more motivation to do the assignment knowing I get to check it off at the end. So it gives a little bit of like a satisfaction effort after completing an assignment, and I think it motivates me more to get them done. Finally, make sure to surround yourself with eager learners. Surround yourself with friends that work hard and want to work hard and basically have the same ambitions after high school as you do. Your friends should have some of the same future goals. And if they don't, it'll make it really hard for you to try and move forward and succeed more in school, knowing that they're at the same level as you. My friends have constantly motivated me to do better in school and challenged me with certain activities. Like I joined the academic bowl because of Gabby, and I gained my math confidence because of Aaron. And so it's very nice to have friends that are just as motivated as you, if not more. It makes life so much easier. I am able to do my homework with my friends. They're able to help me out with it. And when I hang out with them, they'll be like, oh, I need to work on this assignment, and we can work on assignments together instead of slacking off. Okay, I think I covered all I wanted to talk about on the academic advice side of it. So now we're getting into the fun part. I posted a poll on my Instagram story, and a bunch of people asked questions, so I'm just picking some of them out and answering a few for you guys. The first question is, how do I stay calm in social situations? I feel like I've kind of mastered this, and how I did it was realizing that no one is paying attention to me. If you're at a party with even like just 20 people, people are going to look at you for half a second and think about it for less than half a second before moving on and moving their brain to something else. Everyone thinks about themselves. Everyone focuses on themselves, what they're doing, what they're acting like. They don't have the time to go off and worry about different things that you're doing. So I feel like in order to stay calm is just to realize that no one cares. No one's looking at you. It's all in your head. This question is how I balance social life and academics. Like I said previously in the podcast, I think the best way to handle this is finding friends that are able to do both. I like being able to not only work on homework with my boyfriend, but also go and hang out with our friends and make it an even balance. Picking one night to go out a weekend if you know that you have a bunch of homework to do is the best way to do it. I think a little bit going on with this question is like someone asked, what do I do if I have no motivation for schoolwork? This is a hard one because I go through this so often. I think the planner thing helped me a lot with it, but also I am the ultimate procrastinator. So it's hard for me to talk on this subject, but if I would have to take my own advice on it, I would say to rip off the Band-Aid and just do it. It has to happen, and it sucks a lot, but that's just what you have to do. I think in high school it's hard because you don't get to choose the classes you want to take. A lot of it is required courses, so it's not a lot of things like that you're passionate in. When you go off to college, you decide a major, and hopefully it's something that you enjoy doing, so it makes doing homework and taking tests a lot more bearable. But I think just knowing that every single student goes through the lack of motivation is help enough. But what I like to do is set aside a night where I get everything done. I don't talk to anyone. I set my phone aside and I just do it all, which is probably the wrong advice, but if you want to do it that way, go ahead. This person asked how to stop being a yes man, which is basically if you don't want to do it, you still agree to it and you say yes to it because you feel as if you need to. I think the biggest thing here is the people that are yes men feel like they need to please everyone. They get scared that if they say no, that someone's going to like them less. But in actuality, I feel like saying yes to people makes them lose respect for you and treat you as more of an object, knowing that you'll say yes no matter what. You get in the situation where you're getting used a lot by people because they know that you're the one that's going to say yes. I think breaking out of this is just simply saying no. And I know that's hard to go through and it's very hard, but realizing that you can't please everyone and you saying no to someone is not going to change their opinion of you, but gain their respect and make them respect you more as an individual. So the friendship will go on and things will be more of equalness. That's not a word, but you get what I'm saying. This person asked how I find peace in stressful times. I think the best way of doing this is find the person where when you're with them, stress goes away. Hopefully, whether that's mom, dad, a grandma, a best friend, a significant other, you have that one person. For me, hanging out with my mom and talking things out really helps me out. Being able to just like rant and let out all my problems instead of holding it in helps me figure them out myself, and she gives really good advice on how to help things out. Also, putting yourself in a situation, an environment where you feel calm. Mine is like my bed. I feel comfort in my bed, and when I lay down and I breathe, it helps me. You could take a bath, a shower, anything that's stress relieving, make yourself a meal and come back to what you're thinking of. I think if it's stress overall, just of your life, and you're holding it back, the best way to handle it is just to talk to someone about it, cry it out, let it all out, and move on from it. Another way to handle it, though, is if it's a temporary thing, put it to bed, do something that's de-stressful, take a nice warm bath, and then come back to the issue when you're more level-headed. Okay, this person asked, how do you deal with comparing yourself to others? For example, grades and looks. I've dealt with this a lot, and I think the best way to handle this is that, like, even if someone seems very perfect and the ideal person you would like to be from the start, there's always something they're struggling with that you might have. Whether it's a person that maybe has the best body in your mind but struggles academically or has a bad family life when you don't, I think that kind of helps humanize the people that you maybe dehumanize because you look at them as such an icon or something you wish to be. Knowing that you're doing as best as you can helps a lot. Academically, you're doing what you're capable of. That can be satisfaction enough. If you're in a scenario where you feel like I could be trying harder and I feel like I'm not at my full potential, it's easier to feel as if like you're less than another person. But if you push yourself as far as you can go, you have to be like, okay, I tried my best. I'm not as smart as this person, but I did try my best and I know and am satisfied with that. Okay, I think that kind of concludes the second advice session. It was a little shorter than last time, but I feel like I've gotten better at getting straight to the point instead of rambling on. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I love you. See you later.